the end of this meeting. أيها الأصدقاء، أهلا وسهلا. أولا بحب رحب مع الوزير منير المرعبي. بدي رحب مع الوزير منير معين المرعبي لحضوره هذا اللقاء بالتعاون مع كلوب دي مدريد. كذلك الأمر برحب بصورة خاصة، يعني برحب فيكم جميعا وانتم ببيتكم هون، بس بصورة خاصة السيد فيليب لازاريني اللي مندوب الأمم المتحدة لقضايا اللاجئين، وكل الأصدقاء اللبنانيين والممثلي السفارات اللي موجودين معنا حتى نتداول كلنا مع بعضنا حول الموضوع النازحين السوريين وإشكاليات الكرامة الإنسانية ومواجهة التطرف والعودة الآمنة من قبل اللاجئين إلى بلادهم. موضوعنا مثل ما بنعرف، أنا ما راح أطول كلام حتى نترك للمحاضرين مجال واسع، بس بنعرف تماما قديش مدى أهمية هذا موضوع اللاجئين خاصة في لبنان، على الصعيد الإنساني، بدءا على الصعيد الإنساني، وضع الإنساني لهؤلاء المهجرين والنازحين موضوع دقيق وخطير على الصعيد الإنساني في لبنان وغيره من الدول غير قادر أنه يستوعب من ناحية البنية التحتية تأمن كل وسائل الراحة لهؤلاء المهجرين على الصعيد الإنساني. إذن على الصعيد الاقتصادي، على الصعيد الاجتماعي، الظروف اللي عم بيعيشوها، وكذلك أمر على الصعيد الأمني نظرا للأوضاع اللي عايشينها وانعكاس ذلك على الوضع الأمني، عطفا على النسيج الوطني بلد مثل لبنان اللي هو دقيق بتركيبته التعددية. كذلك الأمر من الصعب يقدر يستوعب هالكم من النازحين اللي ببعدهم المذهبي الديني والاجتماعي. وكل هالأمور هيدي نحن مستوعبينها، وبعتقد أنه رح يكون مجال للبحث ليس فقط بوصف الواقع، إنما بقدر الإمكان كمان إيجاد تقديم بعض الاقتراحات العملية لمعالجة هذا الموضوع. بنعرف كذلك أمر انعكاس هذا الموضوع اللي بهم ليس فقط لبنان إنما بيخص العالم كله، لأنه عم بيولد إرهاب أو عم بيدعم النزاعات الإرهابية. الإرهاب أكان في لبنان أو أكان في العالم العربي أو أكان في العالم، ومعالجة هذا الموضوع كمان له إذن انعكاس على صعيد الدولي. وبقدر ما منعالج موضوع النازحين بلبنان بنكون عم نخفف من الخطر الإرهاب اللي عم بيتهدد كثير من المناطق. نحن بلبنان واضح بلبنان مدى خطورة هذا الموضوع على الوضع اللبناني، خاصة أنه لبنان بمساحته الجغرافية وعدد سكانه من الصعب يقدر يستوعب 1.5 مليون على الأقل من النازحين السوريين، يعني تقريبا أكثر من ثلث الشعب اللبناني. سكان لبنان هن من اللاجئين السوريين، يضاف لهم عدد لا يستهان به من اللاجئين الفلسطينيين، وإذا بنعتبر اللاجئين السوريين واللاجئين الفلسطينيين تقريبا وصلوا لنصف عدد السكان اللبنانيين. قديش شو قدرة لبنان يقدر يستوعب هذا الكم، مع العلم انه النسبة السكانية بالكيلومتر المربع بلبنان هي أعلى نسبة مقارنة مع الدول المجاورة. ما في مقارنة ما بين نسبة السكان بالكيلومتر المربع في لبنان إذا قسنا ذلك مع الدول العربية الأخرى، وأكيد كمان بالنسبة لعدد سكان لبنان. فهذا موضوع دقيق جدا، وإذا ما توقفنا عنده ممكن يولد إشكالات. هالإشكالات تتجاوز الوضع اللبناني إلى تعزيز الإرهاب في كل الدول. أخيرا من الواضح أنه معالجة موضوع النازحين لا يتم بالكلام فقط ولا يتم بالمشاريع المتعلقة بالنازحين أنفسهم. هذا موضوع ما بيتعالج جذريا إلا إذا عالجنا لب المشكلة، وهي الحرب الدائرة في بعض الدول العربية. والحل هو بدعم مسار السلام، دعم الحلول السلمية، دعم الحلول السياسية، دعم المفاوضات الدائرة، كان في سوريا مؤتمر جنيف، أو بالجهود بالنسبة لليمن، الجهود بالنسبة لليبيا، للعراق. يعني في جهود كبيرة بقى تبذل على صعيد كل هالدول، ونعزز المسار الدبلوماسي والمساعي الدولية لمعالجة هذا الموضوع. وبعتقد هذا هو بداية الحل، بالإضافة للمسكنات اللي ممكن نستعملها لمعالجة الأوضاع الراهنة. فرح نترك المجال للمحاضرين. في عنا 3 حلقات. رح أعطي الكلام الأول لدولة الرئيس زلانكو، رئيس وزراء البوسنة سابقا، اللي يتكلم باسم كلوب دي مدريد. بعدين رح ننتقل للحلقة الأولى حول لبنان والنازحين السوريين عنا، ومنسق الندوة رح يكون سام نسا، المدير التنفيذي لبيت المستقبل. ننتقل بعدين لأزمة هوية أم خيار والمناطق الآمنة مع مي الصايغ منسق. والحلقة الثالثة هي حول الوضع الاقتصادي والاجتماعي، والمنسق السيدة نجاة شرف الدين. شكرا. That's for you.
Mr. President, Mr. Minister, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored and privileged to be here with you because of so many reasons that exceeds the introductory remarks time. So I will just stop in here thanking you for your hospitality and for expressing my pleasure of being here. As my dear friend, President Jamal said, I'm here coming on behalf of, so to speak, partner institution. But he's the only one who has 2 hats in here. He's from Club de Madrid, he's hosting us in here. So thank you very much. Club de Madrid is, just to make a little briefing, this is association of about 100 former heads of states and governments who were democratically elected, coming from about 70 different countries from all continents over the world. Lebanon is one very rich country, which we all know, but I mean, that's one of the very few countries that has 2 members of the Club de Madrid, as Mr. Prime Minister Senora and President Jamal. I'm coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Bosnia and Herzegovina has a lot of commonalities with Lebanon. And some of you were there, some of you were there witnessing what we were going through and how do we look as society. But as a Club de Madrid, I'll just, without going into details, I'll just, as a giving framework for today's discussion, I'll just mention a few of our projects which are very, very much related to what we are talking about. And when we initiated those projects, we thought that they were going to be relevant, but we were not so visionary clever to understand that they will be so relevant, because we didn't know that the world is going to go in that direction as well. Let me be very precise. One of the projects that I was involved from the very beginnings is coming from the country that is about 4.2 million people without refugees, because we used to be refugees and displaced persons, but today Bosnia and Herzegovina is not on that path. We are a country that is sharing 4 major religions. When Pope Francis visited Sarajevo last year, he said that he came to European Jerusalem, mentioning that in one diameter of, let's say, 100 meters from each other, you have 4 major religion premises: mosques, churches, and synagogues. That's the reason why we are very, very sensitive to the topic that we are discussing about today. I was very much involved in a project that we initiated 10 years ago called Share Society. A project that is talking about our honorary chairman, President Clinton, was our role model of that project, because when we started it, we were confronted with something that we thought that the world is going in direction of becoming all Bosnia and all Lebanon. The world is becoming more multicultural and multi-religious and multi-diversified. Because at that time, more than 90% of the countries were having more than 10% of the people who were along of some identity, mathematically speaking, minority. So practically more than 90% of the countries became multicultural in today's world. And it is going further in that direction. At the same time, we have to find a way how to live together, unified, united in our diversities. Just like my country was historically, just like this country historically was, with different cultures, different religions, different ethnicities, but you were sharing the same area as a society, shared society in which most of the time of your history was connected with, let's say, being caring of each other than being fighting each other, like my country. So the Shared Society project, when it was initiated, most of our friends, Europeans, had no clue that Europe is going to be confronted with that dilemma very soon. At that time, no one thought that Europe, based on the values of unity and diversities, Europe that was made as a biggest peace project in modern history, the European Union that provided never longer period of peace in any such a big part of the world like European Union provided countries of European Union to be living in peace. European Union was not even having in the night dreams that they are going to be confronted with being afraid of different people, being afraid of others. Another project that we are very much involved in is something which was initiated right after Club de Madrid was formed. After September 11, there was a terrorist attack in Madrid. In our General Assembly, we defined and articulated very clearly the call for common fight against terrorism. But not fight against terrorism as only fight force hitting the force, but fighting that with our ideas, because we thought, and we still do think, that our world is better than their world. The only difference is that in their world there is no place for us. But in our world there is place for everyone who wants to live in peace and dignity. So that is the reason why these two projects and these two processes we consider interrelated. More shared society you have someplace, less violent extremism, fertile ground you're creating. And more, let's say, shared society, more people living in respecting each other, institutionally protecting each other, we have less reason to be afraid of violent extremism and terrorism of any kind. Having said so, I'll just go to our topic, direct topic. First, I want to say that I have prepared speech. And I got prepared speech thanks to my friends and colleagues from Club de Madrid and our extraordinary advisors, team of young, devoted people who helped me to prepare the speech. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I came here 2 days ago. And of course, my speech is still relevant, and it's still fine, and I would really do read it, and I would really share with it. But after these 2 days, after first shock that I had with Mr. Minister, Mr. Meraibi, and last night, excellent discussion with some of people present in here, and meetings with the people in between, with Prime Minister Senora, with Prime Minister Hariri, with some other of your colleagues, members, with people who are coming from different spectrums of society of Lebanon, religious leaders from Grand Mufti and so on. Of course, my speech and my intervention has to be significantly different. Let me reflect to this as world understood that there is a crisis called refugees crisis in Syria and in Lebanon, but believe it or not, more in Syria than in Lebanon. When Europe was overflooded with refugees, before that, that was not an issue. It became an issue when they figured out that there's 500,000 refugees getting into the European Union. Let me make some, what I say to some of my European friends. Can you imagine that you have breaking news saying that 11 million refugees is entering Greece? Can you imagine the breaking news that 2 million refugees are entering into Hungary? Can you imagine the news that 19 million refugees are entering into the Romania? Can you imagine that? They say, why? What do you mean, why? Very simple, why? That was the moment when the European Union decided to make distribution of 160,000 refugees. I mean, for a place, you know, I won't talk about Zataria, I'll talk about closer area, Kar. This is about 160,000 refugees that the European Union decided to distribute among themselves. Was about half of the refugees that are entering into one of the most poorest part of the Lebanon, where you have as many the most poor people as refugees entering in that part of the Lebanon. So 160,000 people, big table in Brussels, debating about how they will distribute. And Hungary got 827 people to accept. 827. Puncto. That's it. Not hundreds, not thousands. 827. Slovakia got 2,287. They were shocked. Immediately they created a big partnership in which they showed that there is no left and right Europe, but there is right and wrong Europe. That there is inclusive Europe and exclusive Europe, in which you had Prime Minister of Slovakia and Prime Minister of Hungary coming from center-left Socialist International movement and from People's Party's movement from the right-left positions, united to block acceptance of 3,000 refugees in two rich European transition countries. At the same time, we have German Chancellor and Swedish Prime Minister also coming from two different camps, from Social Democratic and People's Party's camp, who were united in protecting the values of Europe, of unity and diversities, and the values that Europe is about. Having that, yes, we have, regardless of the fact of the pressure on the ground, regardless of next elections, and so on and so on. Yes, we have to do something. We have to do two things. We have to accommodate people in here, but we have to go there to help people to do what they mostly still want, and they still do want, to go back home. That's what I witnessed, Mr. Minister, 2 days ago from you. That's what I saw in Zatari last year when I was there, when I was asking people, what do you want? They said, we want to go home. So people still do want to go home. In that context, I am optimistic that Europe, which is inclusive Europe, is going to prevail because of few reasons. First reason is because even in Star Wars, on the end, Luke Skywalker wins. So be on the right side of the history. Be on the right side of the values. Be, if you're a religious person, be on the road of the holy books. You'll find a way why you have to be promoter of inclusive society to help the people. Why Europe will do that? Because that's the way for Europe to save itself, to save its soul, to save its future. Because you cannot think one thing, talk another thing, and do the third thing. If the Europe is Europe of values, unity, and diversities, if Europe wants to continue to be great force, not be dark side, then Europe has to do something in here. And let me conclude with one story that I heard from one of my dear friends when I was talking with him here a few days ago. He told me an old joke, and I was laughing 2 times. First, because that was an excellent joke, and second thing, because we have the same joke for the people in certain part of our country. And joke or legend goes, so it's not about Homs, it's not about Akar, it's let's say one small village in Bosnia and Herzegovina. There is a pit someplace in the middle of the city, and every once in a while someone drops in that pit and gets hurt. Then what they do is they come, they try to dig the person from the pit. By the time they do it, by the time they take it to the hospital, which is on another side of the city, the person dies. So that happens second time, third time, fourth time, and then the city mayor put his council, wise people, said, what do we do? And there were debates in between left and right wing people. One was saying we should make a pit closer to the hospital, and another one saying that we should make hospital closer to the pit. Of course, little kid was walking by and said, why don't you just close the pit? Europe can maybe be under dilemma. Shall they come here closer to a pit, or they will get pit in a Europe, in European Union. So before the pit comes to European Union, I hope European Union will help that we all together close the pit. And that's where my introductory intervention stops. Thanking you again, Mr. President, for opportunity to participate. As you told me last night, reminded me of old saying from my part of the world as well, this part of the world, if there is a will, then there is a way. So yes, there is a way, and I hope we will discuss about the way, but at the same time, we should more, not less, at least focus ourselves on how to make this will being part of our common will. In here, understanding that this is not about Lebanon, this is not about Syria, this is about much, much, much bigger part of this world, if not saying all world. And there's no plan B for what we are discussing. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.